Welcome to week two. We're going to focus on the philosophy of the Chinese thinker Zhuangzi and compare his thought on happiness to the psychology of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who is a contemporary American psychologist. Zhuangzi was a very unusual, um, you might say crazy, unpredictable, and very often seemingly illogical Chinese thinker. He could be the first person to write a chapter on happiness in history. We're not sure about that. All we know is that in the collected writings we have, called the Zhuangzi, with the book which is named after him, he devoted, if it's translated in English, about pretty well 10 pages on the concept of happiness. He calls it ultimate happiness. And he gives us a very important clue. He tells us within those 10 pages that happiness is equivalent to Wu Wei. What does Wu Wei mean? Well, if you literally translate those two Chinese characters, Wu and Wei, Wu means no, and Wei means artificial action. Actually, the character Wei consists of a human next to the character for action. So if you translate that freely, it means not doing anything that is contrived or artificial. And in fact, in English, one of the best ways to translate that is going along with things. So what did he mean? What did Zhuangzi mean when he meant that the secret to happiness was going along with things? Well, he didn't like words very much. And when you read his small book, it's full of paradoxes and illogical statements. And it's almost as if he's making fun of language itself and of the ability of language to convey the truth. He didn't believe that you could actually discover the truth through language, only through directly practicing and experiencing things. And the way he does that through the books, and obviously the book is written in language, is that he provides us with two very interesting, well, among a lot of other things, he provides us with two very interesting examples of the ideal person, of the happy person. And one of them is a cook called Ting, and the other is a wheelwright, someone who makes wheels, called Pian. And both of these careers are really situated on the very bottom of society. You know, the most distinguished people were scholars, government officials, and the least respected of all the careers was to be a butcher, a gravedigger, or an actor, which is very funny because when you think of the status of celebrities in modern America, then it's completely the opposite thing. So if you read the story of, especially the story of Cook Ting, you'll see there just a wonderfully colorful example of a simple cook who's discovered a deep sense of achievement by cutting oxes. And if you read that passage and then look at the writings of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, you'll see there's very interesting resonance there between what Zhuangzi's butcher is experiencing and Mihaly's concept of flow. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow is, it's all about doing something that you love doing something that involves all your skills, doing something that is challenging, and that getting completely caught up in that. So you don't even know if you're happy or you're sad. And he regards that as a peak experience where we don't even need to think about our happiness because, we feel so happy. Um, and in many ways, what happens to us when we're involved in flow is what we see, what we read about when we hear Butcher Ting experience talking about uh, his skill in chopping up the carcasses of oxes. The other reading we have this week is on the Tao of Pooh, and the Tao of Pooh, the chapter we have as a reading, is simply about the concept of Wu Wei. Now, just as a brief introduction to the Tao of Pooh, this is an amazing little book. It's written by an American. I think he was younger than 30 when he wrote the book. He studied bonsai in Japan for 6 years. And I think through studying bonsai, it seems that he had a sort of hands-on appreciation for Taoism, for the thought of Zhuangzi, and of course, the earliest Taoist thinker, Lao Tzu. And so he decided one day, he realized that, oh my gosh, Winnie the Pooh is a living Taoist. Winnie the Pooh and the characters in the Winnie the Pooh story are a great way to exemplify the main teachings of Taoism. And so I've given you a reading on Wu Wei, on the Pooh Way, actually. And in that chapter, Pooh talks about, or he's discussing the concept of Wu Wei, not going along with things. And that ought to give you a sort of very colorful idea in sort of modern, easily accessible language of the Taoist secret to happiness. So when you read those three works, Zhuangzi's story of those three pieces of writing, Zhuangzi's story of Butcher Ting, Winnie the Pooh's Winnie the Pooh's discussion of Wu Wei, and Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow, I hope you'll discover that there's this very strange resonance between the writings of Chinese philosophers who existed, more than 2,300 years ago, and the scientific discoveries of modern psychologists, the concept of flow. So I'm sure you'll have some ideas about how we can try to experience flow in our own lives, and I look forward to hearing about that.